Cohen waiting on a kickoff. Green Bay won the toss, deferred to getting the football in the second half. Mason Crosby spins it away, and we are underway. 196 meeting between the Packers and the Bears, and that's Benny Cunningham up across the 25 to the 27-yard line.
180! Yep.
First down give is to Jordan Howard, having just an outstanding year, wrapped up by Mike. So he is not in the lineup. We'll see if he's able to play at all. Out of the shotgun, second down, crossing pattern, and a catch made by Kendall Wright, the most experienced. First down, they're going to hand it again to Jordan, looking to turn the corner, and that is bottled up beautifully by number 47, Jake Ryan.
180! Yep.
They'll pitch it to Howard, penalty flags down, and behind the line of scrimmage, it is Devon House taking down Jordan Howard. We mentioned there is a flag, one in the backfield and one in the secondary over on the Packers sideline.
2 fouls on the play, both against the offense. Illegal formation, offense. Number 79 reported eligible and was covered up by a wide receiver. This penalty is declined. Holding, offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
It goes. So now third down and forever. 3rd and 14. Low snap. Trubisky, good protection. Finds a receiver, but well short of the first down. That's a rookie tight end, Shaheen.
Show.
Trevor Davis waiting on the Pat O'Donnell punt into the rain. And fielded in the end zone by Davis. And fortunate to pick up at least 8 yards on that return before Houston Carson dropped him.
It should never get back.
Special teams coach Ron Zook, former college head coach in both Florida and Illinois. First down carry by the rookie Aaron.
Green 18!
Gain of 5 on first down. They'll throw it down. A dangerous throw indeed. Kyle Fuller in this play, but he has been outstanding this season. Third down, quick throw, catch made, and into the secondary goes Randall Cobb. He's out to midfield and dragged down from behind. Those big plays have been few.
Move.
Green 18! Green 10!
They remember that Cobb had a 46-yard pickup on a very similar play last week against Detroit on a quick slant.
Mike McCarthy, the thing I loved about that.
Hands to the face, defense number 52. This 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run and an automatic first down.
Was that Cobb did not have to work for the ball, so that's
this offensive line this year, starting at tackle, starting at guard. He'll start it at right tackle today. Quick throw and a loss of a yard. Akeem Hicks. Who else would that be applying the pressure?
Ready, go.
They'll hand it to Jones, and he slips a couple of tackles. Is dragged down inside the 40, down to the 37. Third down and 4. And another quick pass, and this time it is Montgomery out of the backfield. They split him wide to the left, and that is a first down to the 30-yard line. Packers had in the backfield and had an excellent year. Quick throw to Devontae Adams. He avoids one tackle and picks up close to 9. Be the 9th play in this opening drive, and this is something Hundley in his first 2 starts has done quite well, gotten off to good starts. He lets it fly and nearly intercepted for a second time on this drive by Fuller.
Ready, go!
Hundley flushed, rolls, throws it out of bounds, and that's where the drive will come to an end.
this is he Reed.
Packers all-time leading scorers, Mason Crosby. And right at 40 yards, it is good. So on the opening drive.
For a first down, trust it, see it, deliver.
This one blasted into the end zone, and Tariq Cohen, the rookie's going to bring it out. And he's across the 15 and spun down close to the 20, kept those feet moving. Yep.
180! Yep.
Taking one way, roll it the other. That's a good play call. Shaheen is across the 40, and the big fella out of Ashland, Ohio, making his second catch of the game.
180!
Looked like early movement on the Bears left side. It might have been Shaheen, who just had the big pass reception a moment ago.
False start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty. It will remain first down.
It was their second tight. No gray hair yet. Boy, it's hard to believe. And another flag. And another false start.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
You know, Tom, you want to help.
Some games in the rear before this duo of Favre and Rodgers took over. Good, strong run by a good, strong runner. He had a Bears rookie rushing record a season ago, second in the league to Ezekiel Elliott. And spun down on second down by Mike Daniels. And
180. Yep.
third down, Trubisky gets rid of it in time, and a catch is made by Cohen. He's their leading receiver so far this year. So first down in Green Bay territory now, the 33-yard line. They'll hand it off once more to Jordan Howard off the left side inside the 30, a gain of close to 4, maybe 5. I picked a couple of years ago. This is Cohen off the left side. Penalty flag down. He picks up a first down. Stepping out of bounds to the 18.
Backside.
Holding, offense number 15. A 10-yard penalty and replay, second down.
That's a wide receiver, Joshua.
Get the respect of those 5 guys protecting his rear end.
Second down at 16. And Trubisky, a dart. And bouncing right off the hands, or was it?
We're down here.
Third down. And the catch is made well short of the first down. Is it a catch by Bellamy this year? And this one is right there. A nice little draw. 8 plays, 53 yards, a big completion to Shaheen. Ultimately leading to the field goal. This is Trevor Davis from inside the 5-yard line. He's given him a nice pickup in the return game recently. He's up to the 20. So it'll be a whole bunch of time Montgomery. We might see some Jamal Williams here today as well at running back after the injury here in this opening quarter to Aaron Jones. Unright.
Go.
Second down and 8. Dumps it off to Montgomery in a lot of traffic. And he is stopped short of a first down by a yard or two. This Chicago defense, Howski, in the I formation. They've got Montgomery behind him, and they are denied first down yardage on 3rd and 1. And there's that Chicago Bears defense. I can't believe I'm hearing that from an Ohio State Buckeye, talking about Michigan. Cohen a fair catch and fields it cleanly. First down give us to Jordan Howard. And the pile moves him up to the 35-yard line, a gain of 3. There's inside the 4 yards from the line of scrimmage. Trubisky under pressure, and he is sacked. Those have been few and far between for this Green Bay defense of late, and that's big Mike Daniels. 3 weeks of the season. Their last 5 games, they have a total of 4. Trubisky throws low on 3rd down and 12, and it's 3 and out. All right, Mike, great to hear from you. I'd say that Detroit Lions team is one of the hardest teams, and it's been that way for a long time, to try and figure out. Trevor Davis with room to return, and he's across the 40. Davis to the 50, run out of bounds by the punter. There's a penalty flag, however, right smack dab at the 50-yard line in the middle of the field.
Well, actually, and if you make a mental mistake.
During the return of the kick, illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 48. 10-yard penalty and first down.
You're very anxious to correct that mistake in the gun from parts unknown.
First down, they're going to throw it with Hundley and looking for the big ball to Jordy Nelson. An excellent coverage by Amukamara, and now a penalty flag comes in. Is that because he was getting pushed off of it?
Yeah, it's a good call right here.
Number 20. Ball's the place of the spot was found. Automatic first down.
But I love the call. Call on first down.
Randall Cobb, who takes a snap from center, and that did not fool anybody. Leonard Floyd down and 11. And now Hundley just throws it up and finds Jordy Nelson, and that'll be a first down to the 37-yard line. Boy, Nelson has made a living. Played a regular season full of games in his career against Chicago, 16 of them. And Montgomery into the open field, and he is headed to the end zone. Ty Montgomery. A 37-yard touchdown.
And a cutoff right here, allowing the penetration to go away. See him swing his hips in the hole. You get a nice crackback block right here. There's got to be the fill. Prince Amukamara fills the wrong hole. He's in the wrong gap. Ty Montgomery's dancing in the end zone. Mental error on gap responsibility.
Well, Montgomery playing through. Cohen waiting on the kick. Mason Crosby. And Cohen, 2 yards deep, going to bring it out. And still on his feet, and a decent return up to the 24-yard line. Let's go back to the top.
180. Yep.
So the Bears get the football trailing by a touchdown, and they'll turn and hand it off to Jordan Howard.
180. Yep.
In the game, and they'll turn and hand it to him, and he has a big run. Jordan Howard into Green Bay territory to the 49-yard line, dragged down by Ha-Ha. Jordan Howard has now reached 2,000 career rushing yards in right at a year and a half. He is the fastest Chicago Bear. And think about some of the names they've had.
180.
I didn't mean to leave Neil Anderson off that list. He was another excellent running back for many years. That's incomplete. Crowd looking for a penalty flag that never came. Fired him from San Diego in a trade. Third down and 9. Trubisky fires wide open is Inman. And he has a first down to the 20-yard line. You know, he's an interesting player.
Not in that situation.
Howard looking for running room and pretty much bottled up. Losing a couple of yards. For more on Dontrell Inman, here's Peter.
180.
Quick throw, and it's high, and a penalty flag comes in. With an eye on Bellamy.
Illegal shift, offense. 2 players moved at the same time and never reset. These penalties declined, result of the play, third down.
Okay, these penalties on Chicago have just been brutal, especially.
180.
So third down and 13, and they dump it off to Cunningham out of the backfield, and the big fella is inside the 10, inside the 5, trying to get to the end zone, and he's just short. Benny Cunningham.
Yeah, right there, he's out of bounds.
But the runner was out of bounds, short of the goal line.
Dean Blandino, of course, this time a year ago, still head of the.
If the ball is loose prior to touching the pylon, and then it touches the pylon while loose, we have a touchback.
I think you can make an argument if you're the Packers here. He's almost lucky that he did step out of bounds.
The judiciary is ready to.
After reviewing the play, the Chicago runner advancing toward the goal line lost control of the football and the ball hit the pylon. Therefore, he did not step out of bounds. It is a touchback. It will be Green Bay's ball, first down.
Well, Chris Phelan, you were the one that brought it up.
Green 18.
Wow. And first down, it'll be Montgomery, who had the big 37-yard touchdown a moment ago. Chris Phelan, you were the one that saw that initially.
I want Dean's shot.
Run out of bounds is Jordy Nelson, and that'll be a first down.
Jordy Nelson.
Crowd still very upset about that call a moment ago. First down, Hundley all day to throw. Still looking around. I am stunned he did not run the ball.
Run the ball.
I can't believe it. Sitting here, a 3-year starter at UCLA. Many believe he would go much higher in the draft. He slipped all the way to the 5th round, and he is dropped on the blitz by Cravon LeBlanc. Just a 3-man rush. Dump it off to Randall Cobb. And Kwiatkowski is there to wrap him up. And well short of the first down. The Bears will get the football back 21 yards. Bears have only rushed for 45 yards. Just missed blocking that one. And a short punt will give Chicago very good field position with Peter Schrager on that. As it's first down, and they're going to throw it on first down. Trubisky, good protection. Now in trouble. And finally sacked. Apparently nobody open. And Nick Perry there to get him. Injured his hand back in week 2 against Atlanta. Missed a game and then played with a club-like device on that hand and tripped up behind the line of scrimmage as a penalty flag comes in. Clay Matthews on the stop.
Holding, offense number 87. This penalty is declined. The result of the play, 3rd down.
Movements in
For the Wheaties box
I look like Zoolander.
from Massillon High School. And sacked again is Trubisky. And again it's Nick Perry. 2 of them on this drive. And
Pump block. This would be the time to run it. Nope.
Mike McCarthy's been asking the playmakers on defense to step up and make plays. And right there, the duo of Perry and Matthews made plays. Flags everywhere. Aaron Rodgers, other players got to make
illegal block
plays.
in the back. Receiving team. Number 41. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Not only is Stars on.
Green 18, green 10.
Will turn it handed to Montgomery. And out across the 31-yard line.
Or that is beneficial against that type of offense or personnel.
So in other words, he's watching their substitution pattern, and he's telling them. Randall Cobb in the backfield, and Kwiatkowski will sack Hundley all the way back to the 17-yard line. Virginia. In fact, that's where John Fox's father was based when John was born, before the family moved to San Diego. And that is Cohen up to the 35-yard line. And, you know, Chris, you made the comment, you said, look,
Want to do?
let's see if they're going to try to make something happen before halftime. Benny Cunningham runs out of bounds. He was denied a touchdown. To the quarterback position, the Vikings are 6-2, so why would you change a quarterback? No flag down. Now there is. And dropped behind the line of scrimmage is Trubisky, but this looked like it might be against the defense.
They got it offside.
Offside. Defense number 55. The numbers is on the snap. 5-yard penalty and repeat 2nd down.
It's a long time.
And coverage right here, daring the Bears to beat them.
2nd down and a yard, and Cunningham tries to bounce it to the outside. Coming up and making the tackle is Nick Perry. So it brings 3rd down and a yard, and 3rd down and a yard. And they throw it, and a catch is made by Daniel Brown, just his 2nd catch of this season. And that'll be a 1st down. Back. And now the 5th start for Mitch Trubisky. That one up in the air for Bellamy. And a jump ball, outstanding coverage by the rookie Kevin King. Ball at the 49-yard line. And now Trubisky again to throw it. And this time connects with Kendall Wright. Spun down a yard short of a 1st down at the 40.
Doesn't have to be a perfect throw.
They convert on 3rd down and a yard. The quick slant to Dontrell Inman. And that is his first timeout left. Blitz coming. And it's incomplete, stopping the clock with 15 seconds left. So right now, Kendall Wright. And not sure what happened there.
Center forgot the snap count. Everybody goes, but the center didn't snap the ball.
Officially, they're 6.
False start. Offense. The offensive line all moved other than the center snapping the ball. 5-yard penalty remains 2nd
And not
down.
making excuses.
Staff.
After the penalty, now you'd be looking at about a 54-yard field goal. They'll try and get some of that back. Trubisky throws well short. Field injury. So you got to make a quick completion, call a timeout here. There's the completion, and now the timeout. So that gets you to the 25-yard line. Good snap, good hold, and it is a good kick. So the Bears on the final play of the opening half shave the lead. Our
After the
referee.
conclusion of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Offense number 79. This 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the opening kickoff of the 2nd half.
Because they're hoping to get some type of field position.
Trevor Davis fields this all the way up at the 20-yard line. Across the 30 to 35 and the 40. And across midfield, so that is outstanding field position all the way into Bear territory, close to the 45-yard line. If you weren't with us early in the opening quarter, the star rookie Aaron Jones was injured, a knee injury, and will not play the rest of the game. Carry on the first down, the first carry of the game for Williams, and here comes a blitz, and it's incomplete, bringing up 3rd down and 6 on this opening drive. Quick throw to the sideline, and the reception is made by Randall Cobb, and that's right at the marker.
By Mike McCarthy and his staff.
First down, they'll give it to Williams, and he is spun down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line, up to the forefront and get things rolling in that backfield. It's been Jones instead, but now the rest of this game, as Peter mentioned, appears to be...
Green 18, green 10.
Nope, they're going to throw it on 3rd down and 1. And it's Ripkowski for a first down, and he is chopped down at the 15-yard line for Ripkowski.
Where'd he go?
Packers trying to add to this 10-6 lead. They put it in the hands of Devontae Adams. We remember the last time the Packers and the Bears got together. That was
Snap to Cobb.
Where'd he go?
And they're going to run the option. How about that? Randall Cobb on the keeper. And he's short of a first down. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Where'd he go?
Hundley out of the shotgun. Pump fake, now in trouble. Being chased and finally just throws it away, and wisely so. That would have been close to a 25-yard loss. Made 47 in a row inside of 30 yards. And you can tack on another 48 in a row. The Magnificent Mile, as it's known all across the country. And 8 yards out of his own end zone, it's Cohen. He's not gotten back to the 25 the entire game, but he does so this time up to the 29-yard line. Absolutely celebrating this Veterans Day weekend. First down. By the way, Josh Sitton is back into the game. He had to leave at the end of the first half with some kind of injury. Howard again, and a little more running room this time as he gets up to the 35-yard line. And he is smothered behind the line of scrimmage by Devon House.
Where the weakness of the zone is going to be. The receiver was there, he just missed him.
Coming up to get it is Davis, and trying to turn the corner on the outside. He had a nice return on the kickoff, which led to the field goal.
Good field position.
Will it be the Jamal Williams show the rest of the way? He gets it on first down and cuts it back to the inside. He's up to the 47-yard line. That'll be a gain of 4.
Back taking direct snaps, now more conventional set.
They give it to Williams, and he picks up 2. So that brings up a 3rd down.
Brett Hundley's done a great job managing so far.
They're coming after Hundley. Picked up well by Green Bay, and that's the first catch and the first time we've called the name of Lance Kendricks in his 7th year out of Wisconsin. Ultimately parting ways with him, a one-time Bear. And now he was re-signed very quickly with New England. There's a lot of intrigue and a lot of mystery around all of that. The bottom line is going to Peter here momentarily on the sideline. Second down, they pitch it to Randall Cobb, and that did not fool Chicago. Let's go to Los Angeles.
2 record, they're playing really well.
Blitz coming, pump fake, and down goes Hundley. Leonard Floyd.
Go Bears.
Short punt and a fair catch. That's a big stop for the Chicago defense. So Acho and Floyd
on both sides of the ball.
All right, so the Bears down, a touchdown. They fake it one way, wide open, and Trubisky doesn't throw in the ball. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
So
Bellamy was wide open. 5 sacks of Trubisky so far for Green Bay. And a much more difficult throw, but that's a ball that should have been caught by Bellamy of any team in the NFL. They have 17 of them. The league average is 10. Quick receiver screen in the hands of Kendall Wright, but well short of a first down. So it is a 3 and out.
We have to start getting out of it, and Vic Fangio's got to start being aggressive in his play calling, meaning get after him.
Low line drive punt, short punt. And it is touched by a Chicago Bear, and again, excellent field position to Camp Randall. Played at the Big House in Ann Arbor, as it is Williams off the left side. What was the hardest place to play? There are a lot of huge
Great place to play here at Soldier Field.
Oh,
Lamb
yeah.
is a pro. Lambeau, great places. Great fans.
Off the left side and up right to midfield again is Williams.
Take the timeout, get the right play.
Well, especially on 3rd and 2, where if you get another touchdown in this game, that might be more than enough. And it's right at the first down marker. The question is, will it be enough on the carry to Williams?
Game and make Chicago go the long way.
Look at that. 2 or 3 inches. Remember, they threw out of this formation to Ripkowski the last time. They give it to Williams, and he has a first down to the 45. Boy, if he somehow stays on his feet, 11. And many of those came when he got his first real touches in quite some time. Mop-up duty last week in the loss to Detroit. And that'll be the final play of this 3rd quarter.
5-2. Here we go.
2nd down and 3. Handed to Williams. And that's good, strong running right there. He should have been dropped 2-3 yards behind the line of scrimmage and wound up
Opportunities.
handed again to Williams on 1st down. And again, he's able to break 1 tackle, 2 tackles, dive forward for a couple of yard gain.
Here we go.
2nd down and 9. And dropped by Davante Adams. A very, very long field goal try if they don't pick up any yardage here. And that is Jordy Nelson. And he is dropped well short of the first down to the 33. So this would be by far the worst stadium in which he kicks. And wouldn't you know it, on a rainy day, he knocks that one through. 16 minutes before kickoff, and it's Ray through the entire game. Very short kick fielded by Cunningham, who had that touchdown taken away earlier in the game. And boy, how large is that right now? Well, you know, Cohen had the incredible first month of the season. You know, his first 30 rushing attempts, he averaged 6 yards per carry. Give it to Howard, trying to turn the corner. A stiff arm to Clay Matthews, but can't turn the corner and is run out of bounds. Penalty flag down.
Holding defense number 97. This 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the spot of the snap and an automatic first down.
First down and 10. They give it to Howard, and he's out across the 41-yard line. And let's go back to Los Angeles to Mike Hill.
180.
Throw it down the middle, and there's Inman. And that'll be a first down to the Green Bay 46-yard line. In fact, he is now, and this is Bears' debut, he is their leading receiver in this game. That's his 4th catch. And look at this, wide open. And that is a touchdown for Bellamy.
Throwing it on first down, Tom. One-on-one, we talked about it. Win your one-on-one matchups on first down. McBride with a clean release. Little out and up right there. House bit on it. The ball is perfectly thrown to Bellamy, who makes a great over-the-shoulder catch, and the Bears are back in it with a big play by their rookie quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky.
Bellamy, he had 10 receptions in the first 3 games of the year. And now a 46-yard touchdown.
5-yard penalty and replay the try.
And there is another penalty against the Chicago offense. So now the point after. And no problems at all for Connor Bart. Come on, and so far not too bad today.
Well, it's all about the timing. The bye week helped them and helped the timing with Mitchell Trubisky. You'll see his numbers have been better as far as distribution.
Opportunity with a guy like Trubisky that you're giving a chance in his first year is play action, and now Hundley down the middle of the field. And that is a catch made by Davante Adams. But, you know, sometimes you get so conservative.
Aaron Rodgers.
Handed off to Williams, getting his first big chance in the National Football League, the 4th round.
Here we go.
Gain of 6 on first down. Williams again to try and pick up the first down, and that's all he's done since coming into this game. I mean, he didn't have some big long run or anything like that, but every time they give it to him.
Not Evans meeting him in the hole.
Williams one more time, and not much room to run this time. Tell you, this Leonard Floyd's got a chance to 2nd down and 10.
Holy go.
From the Chicago 45-yard line. Hundley, that's a nice throw. Safe throw. Completes a pass. Picks up 7 of it. It's a big play in this game. And Hundley's going to run it. He'll get the first down easily and then some. As he dives forward to the 21-yard line. Now I'll tell you, that's the...
Nice job.
Holy go.
All right, now they're going to put it in the hands of Ripkowski. And he is dropped right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a half-yard loss, and there was McPhee. Stays in the game to the left of Hundley. He's in there. And Hundley now rolling right, looking, throws, back shoulder in the corner. And it is a touchdown for Davante Adams. That was an Aaron Rodgers-like throw there by Hundley.
Running a scramble route. He's going to push upfield now. Watch out. He's going to turn. Once he sees him scramble, he understands to take off for the end zone. And Hundley puts it only where Davante Adams can put it. Great hip adjustment on the ball. Turning those hips, hands square. Got it in there.
It's still good. With 5:29 to go in the fourth quarter to make it a 10-point Green Bay lead, where the Packers have just owned Chicago for so many years. And even without Aaron Rodgers, it appears that may hold true today.
Cost the Bears, which kept the drive alive.
Yeah, that was the biggest play on that drive outside of the touchdown, and there's a big completion again on Edmond. What a debut for Edmond. Area which required surgery and forced him to miss all of training camp, and the Chargers just got rid of him. And look at that catch. He goes up to get it again.
And what he's getting is trust right now. So you got to let him take what they give you.
Down the middle of the field, well underthrown. He was under some pressure that time from Nick Perry. All right, second down. And Trubisky steps up this time and finds the open man across the middle, and that is Daniel Brown to the 35. Trubisky, great protection this time, and fires high. He had an eye on Trey McBride. Second down. And he got rid of it just as he was hit, and a little bit too low for Bellamy. It brings up third down and 10, and Kenny Clark. Bears have had their quarterback sacked 5 times in this game, and they put it in the hands of Kendall Wright. And he slides his way inside the 30 to bring up fourth down.
Timeouts.
And Barth nails it 49 yards away. So they try to put this thing on ice. Taking a knee, wisely so, is Davis. Let's go downstairs to a wet. All righty, so now Mr. Hundley will turn and hand it off to young Mr. Williams. That's the thing about this Green Bay team today, is that you have basically again, and it is
this game on the road against a divisional opponent.
Stepping up is Floyd. Look at Williams, and powers his way to a first down. My, oh my, he should be excited.
Green 18, Green 10.
Pretty savvy move right there by Hundley. You know, you tend to speed things up when you're in his position right now, and he waited until that play clock got all the way down to 3 before he called for the snap.
Green 18, Green 10.
Second down, Ripkowski off the right side. So you spend another time out here before the 2-minute warning if you're the Bears. Yeah, you got to do it. It's a third down and 5. They need to get to the 45-yard line, and I think there is some movement up front.
Delay game. Offense.
Delay of game.
5-yard penalty.
How does that happen after a timeout? Hundley's going to throw it. And he's going to throw it deep down the sideline. Are you kidding me? Davante Adams at the 23-yard line. What a huge play and throw. How about that smile from Aaron Rodgers?
Like I said, put it in Hundley's hands and let him throw it deep.
Oh, my gosh.
So what they're doing basically is playing a punt. If it does get intercepted, a double move. Fuller's in actual good position. He's playing off, but you see the separation speed of Davante Adams. And how about Hundley? Money, I take it back. Put it in his hands.
It's a one-handed catch, I think. Yeah, how about that? His first 2 NFL starts. And that will take us officially to the 2-minute warning.
Showing belief and trust in Hundley.
Now Jamal Williams to try and basically put this thing away. Bears will spend their last time out.
Ending.
0-5-2.
Well, he has.
Well, I don't know if I do this.
All right. I tell you, they've forgotten more football than I'll ever know. But when you get a guy who maybe takes about 10 of those snaps a year, you get a hand on this from Crosby. 35 yards out. And he missed it. Are you kidding me? And the Bears are still alive. We talked about all the problems Crosby has had. And, of course, the Packers play at Soldier Field every year. It's Justin
Make a
Vogel.
play.
All right, so it's not over yet. 1:03 to go. Trubisky across the middle. And, boy, that's a big break of a tackle right there by Kendall Wright. On the 35, they need a touchdown to tie it. Trubisky, good protection. And it's batted down to the line of scrimmage. 7-10. Here it's a 7-point Green Bay lead. Bears out of timeouts with the football. Looking to Bellamy, and it's overthrown. He had him open. Fans are still into it, hoping the youngster Trubisky can pull off the miracle. And there, it's off the fingertips of Inman. I'm gonna tell you, this is it right here. You have any hopes of still pulling this thing out on a 4th down and 10. And it's Cunningham. And he will flip to a teammate. And short of the first down, Grasu took the flip. That was a smart play by Cunningham. What has been played between these two teams. Chicago has only won 14 of the 53. And now they lose to somebody other than Favre and Rodgers today in young Brett Hundley. Pretty good effort, though, by both these young quarterbacks today, don't you think, Chris?
Absolutely impressed with both guys. Did a great job. Great football game. Packers on top.
All right, so the Pack still alive at 5-4 in this NFC North, ending the losing streak, getting their first win. That's a first career win. So congratulations to Brett Hundley after he had dropped his first 2 NFL starts. And the Packers with a victory here today.